Bill O'Reilly here. Welcome to the No Spin News for Thursday, March 10th, 2022. Stand up for your country. Honest discourse. Remember that? Remember then when that was admired in America? Wasn't so long ago. When I started the O'Reilly Factor in 1996, we had some honest discourse for most of the 20-year plus run of that program, because I wouldn't permit charlatans to come on the air unless I wanted to beat the living you-know-what out of them, which occasionally I did, to show you how dishonest they were. But now we live in a country where dishonesty is celebrated, and it's at the highest level. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. So Putin and Saddam Hussein are pretty much the same guy. Saddam Hussein, you may remember, invaded Kuwait. His soldiers raped more than 5,000 women in Kuwait, brutalized the country, murdered people. And Putin, of course, is doing what Putin always does in Ukraine. And so they're the same guy. But remember back in the war to remove Saddam Hussein, how vehemently the left opposed George W. Bush. Okay, now, the situations are not identical as far as the Iraq war is concerned. 2003 that started, and the Ukrainian conflict. They're not the same, and I'll go and I'll explain the differences. But the mentality on the left is very instructive, and that is the talking points memo this evening. Okay, so March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, 2003. President Bush the Younger issued an ultimatum to Saddam to get out. He wouldn't. March 20th, the war began. Okay. It began because the New York Times put on page 1 that Saddam had weapons of mass destruction, which he would give to terrorists. You'll remember that. It was backed up by Secretary of State Colin Powell. That is why I, your humble correspondent, agreed with going into Iraq to remove Saddam Hussein. Remember, he wouldn't allow the UN weapons inspectors in. And then the New York Times, Judith Miller was the reporter, splattered it on the front page. He's got weapons of mass destruction. And then Colin Powell. Okay, so I'm a fair man. I'm listening to both. I'm reading first. I know the New York Times, a liberal paper, they're saying it, and Colin Powell saying it. Okay. Can't allow Saddam to have weapons of mass destruction because that puts everybody in danger, especially after 9/11. All right, now we have Putin basically going into a sovereign nation and killing people. That's what he's doing. Now, he can rationalize it any way he wants, but that's what he's doing. So it's worse than what Saddam did, because weapons of mass destruction turned out not to be true. Okay? Now, I'm going to run you some sound bites. The most high-profile liberal in this country is Nancy Pelosi. First, her take on the removal of Saddam. Second, her take today.
The president has spoken in his speech the other night. He talked about rebuilding Iraq's economy after our invasion. We have problems with our own economy. We must focus on building our own economy before we worry about Iraq's economy after we invade Iraq.
So again, I want to salute the president. He, working with our allies, are presenting a united front against Putin.
Okay, so we have trouble with our economy now, right? Right, Miss Speaker, Madam Speaker? Just as we had in 2003, we have worse problems now. But you're all in for Joe Biden, but you were condemning President Bush. That makes sense to you? Does it? If it does, please explain it to me. Bill@BillO'Reilly.com, Bill@BillO'Reilly.com. All right, and don't give me outcomes, because Pelosi didn't know the outcome of the Iraq war when she said those things and opposed removing Saddam. But now she's Go get him, Joe Biden. Economy's worse now than it was then. Okay. Give you some 3 other examples which are pretty instructive. Sean Penn, big liberal. Everybody knows the actor. He's a big liberal. Okay, so here's what he said for the Iraq War. Quote, "Yet now here we are, just 5 short years have passed, and the same flag that took me so long to love, respect, and protect threatens to become a haunting banner of murder, greed, and treason against our principles, honored history, Constitution, and our own mothers and fathers, to become a vulgar billboard advertising our disloyalty to ourselves and our allies." That was on May 30th, 2003. Okay? Condemn, condemn, condemn. Not now. Put it on up there. February 26th, Sean Penn, quote, "I believe Mr. Putin will have made a most horrible mistake for all of humankind. President Zelensky and the Ukrainian people have risen as historic symbols of courage and principle." Okay, so the fighting is all right now, but it wasn't back then for Sean Penn. Rob Reiner, you know him, uber left-wing director, used to be a TV actor, full screen, about Iraq. Quote, "I used to make a joke, haven't they seen Lawrence of Arabia? If they had, they would have known that removing Saddam Hussein would unleash a 1,400-year-old sectarian war." Okay. Now, today, Rob Reiner, quote, "Children are being slaughtered, innocent people are dying. President Biden said the 2020 campaign was a battle for the soul of the nation. Now we are in a battle for the soul of the world. We must do whatever it takes to allow democracy to survive." Rob Reiner. They didn't care about the people being abused in Kuwait or the Iraqi people who Saddam was running roughshod over. No. Somehow the Ukrainian people are different than the Iraqi people. I don't know. Our pal Stephen King, the author, this is in 2008. "I live in a National Guard town. I support our troops, but I don't support either the war, the Iraq war, or educational policies that limit the options of young men and women to any one career, military or otherwise." But now Stephen King is a warrior over Ukraine. All right, as we said on February 23rd. "What most of us learn as kids on a playground, you don't stand by while a big kid beats up a little kid. You might take a punch or two, making the big kid stop, but that's the right thing to do." So it wasn't the right thing to do to punch Saddam, but it was to punch Putin. Okay, now, why I'm doing this is to show you that honor, Honor, is becoming an endangered word in America. So all of these people, Pelosi, Penn, Reiner, King, driven by ideology, not honest evaluations of a situation. Bush, Cheney hated Republicans. Biden, Harris loved Democrats. That's what it's all about. It has nothing to do with geopolitics or anything else. This ideological madness, both on the left and the right, you see it on the right. It's madness. It's really been corrosive to our entire country. Okay, and then we inject race. So did you know that there's race involved in the Ukraine situation? I didn't know that. But thank God we have Joy Reid to remind us. Go.
The coverage of Ukraine has revealed a pretty radical disparity in how human Ukrainians look and feel to Western media compared to their browner and blacker counterparts, with some reporters using very telling comparisons in their analyses of the war.
Oh, that's right. It's all about skin color, insanity. And I mean that word literally. All right, President Biden, what he did today, I talked to Erdogan, the Turkish dictator. I say dictator because there's not real freedom in that country. So Erdogan wants U.S. planes, and he's trying to convince Biden to send over a whole bunch of high-tech aircraft. Biden doesn't really want to do it. But Erdogan held a peace session between Ukrainian reps and Russian reps yesterday. So Putin called him at 10 a.m. to discuss that. And, Erdogan, not a great ally for us, brutal guy. At middle of the day, Biden met with the president of Colombia, South America, celebrate 200 years of goodwill or something. And tonight, Biden delivers remarks at National Democratic Committee. That's what he did. So at least he did something today. He usually doesn't do anything, but today he did something. Okay. Biden resume. Now, this is an interesting story. So I told some high-level people at lunch today. I do deal sometimes with high-level people. And these are radio guys. And our radio show, the O'Reilly Update, about 300 stations. This is big ticket now. And so we were discussing it, and I said to them, and they were surprised, that the Democratic Party does not want Joe Biden to run for re-election. The big shots, the big kahunas, as they say in Hawaii, they don't want him. And they don't want Harris, because they know this is a loser here. Okay, now not many people know that, but I do. So I am predicting right now Biden's never going to run for re-election. So one of the reasons is that the inflation rate came out today, and it was 8% in February. Before, that data was before Putin invaded. So 8% inflation. Now, that means everything that we buy in the United States costs more under Biden. So on a look-back basis, at the same time last year, right after Trump lost and left office, okay, inflation 1.7%. 1.7% to 8%. No Putin. Biden. That's on his resume. But you'll never hear that from the corrupt corporate media. And it's so simple. 1.7 when Trump left, 8% after a year and a few weeks of Biden. That's what it is. There's no wiggle room here. But they'll blame Putin. That's what they're going to do. Attention savvy investors looking for predictable monthly cash flow? How about double-digit targeted bonus returns? If you want the safety and security of a real estate investment, but without the hassles of being a landlord, you probably heard of NRIA. NRIA is an industry-leading real estate development firm in its 15th year. They develop in strategically located, lower-risk, high-demand neighborhoods that are based on supply-demand imbalance. They are a great fit for safety-oriented investors who want cash flow and diversification in carefully chosen real estate. So you can learn more about the NRIA Real Estate Development Fund at nria.net, or you can call 800-800-1414. That's easy. 800-800-1414.
An offer of securities is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. Read it first. Past performance does not guarantee future results. NRIA is a real estate development firm. Learn more at nria.net.
Vice President Harris in Poland today. Now, I am not looking to denigrate Ms. Harris, as some on the right are. I'm not looking to do that. When she screws up and does something foolish, I will absolutely report it. Do I think she is competent in her role as vice president? I do not. Loud and clear. If you saw our interview with the California senator earlier this week, I asked, did Kamala Harris, while she was Attorney General of California, do one thing that helped the state? Couldn't come up with anything. Nothing. Okay, so she's over there in Poland speaking with the Polish President Duda, and here's what she said. Go.
I am here in Poland as an expression of the enduring and important relationship between the United States and Poland that again has been long-standing, but in particular on the issue of Ukraine is unified and is clear. We will do everything together in partnership.
Okay, that's fine. We had to send her over there to show the Polish people and NATO allies that, we're engaged. It's like Biden going to Fort Worth, Texas for no reason at all, just to show people he's robust. Same thing. But I don't have any beef with her being over there, unless she screws up. Now, here's something interesting. She's going to meet with little Justin Trudeau, the Canadian Prime Minister. I wonder if they'll both mask up. She's meeting over there with Poland. He's over there, little Justin, because they don't want him in Canada, so he went to Poland. Cheap shot, I'm sorry. Okay, tomorrow she goes to Romania to meet President Iohannis. Nobody knows much about Romania. I do. I spent some time there. And she's going to do the same thing that she did in Poland, which is, again, fine unless she does something ridiculous. And if she does, I'll report it. Now, here's a really, really interesting story, okay? So if you have watched the No Spin News and listened to it on the radio this week, you know we have proven beyond any doubt that the rise in gasoline prices in the USA is mostly on Joe Biden. Okay? The circumstances were the same for Biden and for Trump. COVID, not many people working, okay? All of that. Yet Trump kept the gallon of gas at $2.50. It rose $1 under Biden in 13 months. $1. No Putin. Again, no Putin. Why? Because Biden attacked the fossil fuel industry, and the industry itself pulled back because it knew all the regulations and all the hoops it had to jump through to market, to harvest oil, wasn't going to make them a lot of money because Biden was going to try to prevent that. That's why it happened. Everybody knows that. Okay. So the New York Times, I should say everybody knows it. The New York Times does not know it. They deny it against every fact. So the reporter is Linda Q. She's a fact checker. Okay? And Linda puts out on page 1, Q is spelled Q-I-U. Okay, full screen it. I'll read it to you. While Republican lawmakers supported the Russian ban on oil, they asserted that the pain at the pump long preceded the war in Ukraine. Gas price hikes, they said, were the result of Mr. Putin's cancellation of Keystone Pipeline, the temporary halt on new drilling leases on public lands, the surrendering of energy independence. All incorrect assertions. These claims are misleading. The primary reason for rising gas prices over the past year is the coronavirus pandemic and the disruptions to global supply and demand. Hey, Linda, Trump had the same card. The same thing. Yet we didn't have a decline in oil production last year under Trump. It's the same thing, Linda. Now, New York Times obviously knows that, and Linda does what she's told. So why is the New York Times putting that on page 1? Rank propaganda, blatantly dishonest. Why? 2 reasons. First, to prop up Joe Biden, who's getting hammered. But second, and most importantly, the New York Times knows the climate change warriors are on the run. The number one issue for the New York Times is climate change and changing America's capitalistic system into a quasi-social economic system under the guise of improving the planet climate-wise. That is their top issue. So they're giving cover here, or trying to, it's not going to work, to the climate change warriors who've been set back 10 years. 10 years. Because 80% of the American public, according to the polls, they want more drilling now. They want more oil harvested now. John Kerry can't go out of his house. Whenever he opens his mouth, he's mocked. All right? Simple question. You want to throw in your energy, your gas in your car, your home heat and air conditioning with John Kerry? Yes or no? I think I'm hearing no's everywhere. So the New York Times understands that climate change, the whole industry, and it is an industry, is now collapsing because of high gas prices and heating oil prices and air conditioning prices in the USA. They know that. And they're trying to say, oh no, it's not Biden and the climate change people. Putin, it's Putin did it all. Putin. That's what you're trying to do here. Now, some people will buy it. They absolutely will buy it. And the signal that descends to ABC, CBS, NBC, CNN, the four liberal corporate networks, is this is the playbook. The New York Times sets the liberal playbook. So if you tune in to those news agencies, and I don't know why you would, they're not telling you the truth, you'll hear this. Putin. All Putin's fault. And we still have to have climate change legislation. So again, I'll reiterate, 20% of America's entire fuel portfolio is alternative energy. I wish it were 80%. I do. I want a cleaner planet. I have no allegiance to oil and fossil fuel at all. None. I want the cleanest energy possible for the earth. But it's not here. And it's not going to be here for 15, 20 years. Maybe it'll go up every year. I hope it does. So it's now 20. Maybe it'll go to 30 in 5 years, 40 in 10 years, whatever it may be. And I want the government to participate with private industry and try to develop these technologies. I want that. And I bet you do too. You'd rather have a sooty coal air, or would you rather have just pristine clean air? I'd rather have the pristine clean air, but you don't destroy your economy on a dream. 20%, that's it. The other 80 has to come from fossil fuels. But Biden goes in with a hammer to placate the New York Times and the climate change warriors. What a disaster for him and for the country. If you are stuck in a timeshare and you haven't called Lone Star Transfer yet, what are you waiting for? Lone Star Transfer has helped more than 16,000 happy customers. They are family owned, have a 99% success rate. Their process is done legally, ethically, and quickly. I mean, does it get better than that? The team at Lone Star Transfer will keep you informed every step of the way until you are legally and permanently released from your timeshare. So don't pay another penny for a timeshare you don't use. Get peace of mind today with Lone Star Transfer. They guarantee the release of all liability to your timeshare in writing and in a specific time frame. Give Lone Star Transfer a call for a free no-obligation consultation. 855-551-7066, 855-551-7066, or online at lonestartransfer.com. So here is the final thought of the day. As you may know, we have concierge membership in BillO'Reilly.com. Costs a little bit more than premium membership, but you get direct access to me. Every day, I and my staff go over the emails sent, and they're private. We don't read those emails on the air. We don't give your name to anyone, okay? Many of the emails want me to explain conspiracy theories. I don't do that. I don't pay attention to them. So you kind of want to wasting your concierge membership asking me about. Once in a while I can debunk them fast, okay? But I'm so surprised that so many people are buying these conspiracy theories. Now, the worthiness of concierge membership is when you have a problem in your life. Job, family, health, financial. I can't give you financial advice, but I can direct you, okay? That's the worthiness. So I'm like your mentor. And I get some really complicated problems by concierge members, and I try to sort them out for you. I remember an elderly woman in Idaho who was going on a cruise, and the cruise ship flat out refused to refund her money, even though she was in the hospital. She had a health malady. We got that woman's money back. Now, I can't do that all the time, but I can do it a lot. And that's what we're in business on the concierge level to do. So I hope you check it out. You'll get a free copy of Killing the Killers or any of my other books, Killing Jesus, if you sign up, and it will help you. Thank you for watching and listening to us tonight. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. As you may know, inflation is out of control thanks to the policies of this administration. Retirement accounts are especially vulnerable now. When inflation goes up, your savings goes down. Protect your hard-earned wealth against inflation. Please call the people I trust at American Hartford Gold. They will show you how to protect your savings by diversifying your portfolio with physical gold and silver. They are the highest-rated firm in the country with an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau and thousands of satisfied clients. It takes just a short phone call, and they will deliver physical gold and silver right to your door or put inside your IRA or 401k. Plus, tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you, and they will give you up to $2,500 of free silver on your first order. So please don't wait. Call 866-501-5201, 866-501-5201, or text BILL to 65532. Again, 866-501-5201, or text BILL to 65532.
Bill O'Reilly is back on TV and only on The First. No Spin News, every weeknight at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on The First.